Hey, this is Jim with SportsStream. You can register at sportstream.us for today's content and the content from all of our streams available right there on demand for you to refer back to with some of the great information. My favorite segments to shoot throughout the show are those where we invite our system integrators, the guys that are out there working with the sports teams to make sure they enable their full sports production. Matt Baker from Visua is someone that we have had on our show in the past. Matt, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me again. It's always a fun thing to do, and excited to kind of talk some of the fun things that we get to do in our industry today.
The fun things are the things that really kind of make this all worthwhile. And that's why I'm looking forward to the show that we've put together today. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and Visua to our SportsStream audience.
Sure. Yeah, Matt Baker, Visua. We are kind of a unique integrator, AV integrator that kind of focuses in the space of tier 2 sports facilities. But our kind of history really kind of tells the story of how we got here and really what we're going to be talking about today. And it all started back in the 80s, actually, as a traveling Blues Brother act. If you look behind me on this wall, that's Bob Misavich right there. He was our founder of the company. He actually started out as an entertainment act they had the Bluesmobile. They would go to minor league baseball games, NBA games across the country, and they did that for a number of years until they got old and couldn't dance anymore. But as that evolved, and they kind of went from stadium to stadium, that's when they started to get into technology, and we became more of integrators, understanding how stadiums work and solving different problems throughout facilities and how to leverage technology for the fan experience. And that's kind of what the essence of what we are today. But really, entertainment and operations of sports teams is really the blood of what built us to where we are today. And when I'm excited to kind of talk more about the fun, because as you're a Blues Brother and you're doing entertainment acts, you got to have fun. And that's what really sports is about. The fan experience.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things that's really exciting to hear is when there is an entertainment heritage and now you look at the technology as the tool to bring entertainment to the fans, whether those fans are in venue or at home and you're streaming into them with a live production, allowing that all to go hand in hand and to communicate that it's entertainment experience across the board is what allows you to be successful and to continue to work with these teams, right?
Yeah, I mean, I say it all the time. Like, we're essentially just entertainers and operators that fell in love with technology, really. And that's who we are. So all we're doing is leveraging technology to create a really good fan experience for all sorts of different levels and budgets. That's the beautiful thing about today is regardless of your budget, we're confident that you can produce a really, really great fan experience.
And I know we're going to talk a lot about the fan experience and about the entertainment and the engagement. I do want to let our audience know that Visua is available to help with the technology aspect. Everything from the LED display walls that are in the venues themselves to the sports production and streaming, and even some of the graphic tools that we're going to talk about in a little bit, right?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you walk into the facility that's behind you, the Knoxville Smokies, and that video board, we designed everything from that, the audio, the video production system, all the PTZ cameras that are in there, the digital signage, basically anything that turns on in a sports facility, we can help from the design build aspect to it to the integration. We're kind of A to Z company when it comes to the technology in a stadium.
That's awesome. You know, when we talk about the fan engagement, I think the first team that comes to mind in everyone's mind right now is the Savannah Bananas. I mean, they've really taken it to a whole other level and are doing a great job of expanding their reach well beyond their local markets.
Yeah. So, and as we go through the next couple of slides, really the inspiration of what I want to talk about here kind of starts with what the Bananas and the inspiration for the powerhouse that they have become, essentially. I mean, if you're probably living under a rock if you haven't heard of the Savannah Bananas.
Right.
They're all over the place, right? But really, the bones of who they are and what they do has been kind of what minor league sports have been doing for decades, right? It's that fun, jam-packed entertainment during breaks, right? So like how like the baby races like they do, the dudes dancing on the field, the different contests and stuff. Those minor league sports have been doing that for years, but really what has made the Bananas so successful, right? It's the social media. They really leverage their social media, that has really helped them kind of skyrocket themselves as far as like their personalities outside of the, they've got the brand personality, but the player personalities. I mean, I was watching America's Got Talent the other day, and one of their players was actually a contestant on that. And he's a contestant because he's talented and other things outside of just baseball. So they've really leveraged their personalities, not just the team, but the players and the actors, the entertainers. I mean, I see on social media the umpires and stuff like that. So they really bring the fun, and they're really taking that fun and how do we integrate that fun into the stream and into their social media. What I think the other thing that makes them so successful is every night is an A show for them. Every show is an A show. Through a long season of any kind of sports team, if you're running like 60 home games during the year, it's easy to like coast a little bit sometimes, on those Tuesday, Wednesday games. You might not want to put your A game into that show. Bananas make sure that every night is an A game, and every night they jam pack with entertainment. And I think that's one of the reasons that have made them so successful. Other than they have all those viral, fun, different rules that they do, and all their rules really engage the fans. So, really, what I want to talk about is how do we bring fans into the stream, and how do we really engage them, like the Bananas have been doing? And that's kind of the inspiration of this.
So we want to talk about the sports production and the technology that's being used today. And we started off
Mm-hmm.
the show talking about Blues Brothers turning into a technology company, doing things like the Savannah Bananas as the inspiration to it all. So I think that really
Mm-hmm.
shows you the capabilities that you can take the production level, where producing a sports event with the right technology, with the right considerations, is no different than any other entertainment event that you're looking to
Mm-hmm.
share with your audience.
Yeah, oftentimes when we put sport stream, we talk about sports, and we're trying to stream sports, we get really lost in the sport
Right.
and just trying to show the action on the field. And really, this slide is all about, okay, how do we bring the fans into that? Because fans are so important to everything we do. I mean, it's the reason why we stream, is so fans can watch, whether a fan is a parent or an actual fan of the brand, right? We want to bring them into the show. And when we talk about the show, we're talking about the stream, obviously, but we're also talking about the in-house show, the video board, your video walls, your screens that are inside of the facility. So it's important that we find ways to bring those fans onto those screens and engage with them. One of my favorite ways is leveraging our cameras. PTZ cameras is probably one of my favorite things to put in a facility. It's got a really low cost of ownership, and I use this joke a lot. It never shows up late for work. A PTZ camera. A PTZ camera doesn't call in sick. They don't eat your craft services. They're reliable, and they're there for you, and you can really use them to capture your fans. Whether you take the PTZ camera, let's say it's down close to the field, you turn it around, point it at your fan, or go across. I love that because it really shows the fan, and hopefully you capture a funny moment, or you capture a viral moment, right? One of my favorite things is the oblivious cam, and that's great for a PTZ camera because usually the fan can't see where that camera's coming from, so you can zoom right in on them, put a lower third for oblivious fan up there, put them on the video board, and see how long it goes for. And that's one of the great fan experience moments that can happen in a facility. And it's kind of just using your PTZ cameras to capture the fans is such a key thing that you can do.
And
The other
Matt,
really,
I've had the opportunity to view one of the stadiums where you've installed some of these PTZ cameras. And it's amazing to me how you can deploy so many different cameras in so many different places. And quickly, with the control of that camera, capture something spontaneous happening at any point in the arena much
Hmm.
more easily than you could have a cameraman run over to section 325 to get what's happening over there.
Oh yeah, they're great for macros or using a PT keyboard to hit one button and have all your cameras look in a certain spot,
Yep.
right? Like I love in baseball dugouts, right? So I usually have a preset set for all our cameras to boom point right at the where the player walks up and down into the dugout for home run celebrations like that. And it's great for capturing those angles. And like you said, in an arena, it's really hard to get a wireless camera operator to run all the way around. So you can use that PTZ to quickly point right in that arena and capture something that's going on there that can be used for viral moments or anything really.
Absolutely. And by putting these cameras on a network throughout the venue, it gives you the ability to call up any of those cameras, send them to any different feed, whether it's to the video board in the stadium itself, to a live
Hmm.
stream that's going out to a remote audience watching the game from their couches, or as you mentioned earlier, to social media formats, which have a whole different level of production in the video clips that you want to share out to social media versus those broadcasting the home run or the foul catch
Hmm.
or anything else happening in the stadium, right?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the technology that have access to today. I know you see that picture of me with the Knoxville Smokies crew, which I'm sure, and I'm excited to talk more about at NDI November. But NDI has given us such an ability to be flexible with where we plug in cameras throughout a facility and how we are able to point source and do all sorts of different things with our signals and our sources to get them into our show. It's kind of an awesome thing that I love and I'm always excited to talk about NDI.
Absolutely. And when we talk about the technology, all of this technology, all the PTZ cameras, the NDI connections, everything that we're using is there to create the content that reaches and engages with the audience. And your advice here is to make that as creative as you can, right?
Yeah, be creative here. What I love about what we've got access to nowadays with companies like Flowix and others is such a creative way to use your graphics, right? Like I know in previous years, it was creating your graphics and then tying them into your data was such a challenge and such like an expert level thing that you needed to be able to do. With platforms nowadays, it's really easy to be able to link your data. For example, in minor league baseball, linking the MLB API into your broadcast is really easy to do with a platform like Flowix. All you got to do is just link that data. And what's also great is you don't have to be an expert in like Photoshop or graphic design, as there's a lot of templates that are given to you that you can leverage and use. So it's really important to take that and then be creative with it. Let's, for example, like if you put a fan on your screen, put a lower third under that for that fan, just like you would do for a player. And if you don't know who that fan is, be creative with it. Going back to that oblivious cam, put oblivious human as the lower third for that, right? Like you can do fun stuff like that that shows the fun of what's going on inside of your facility, because that's what's kind of cool about using a stream is you can show obviously the sport, but you can show what's going on in the vibe of your facility, what it is like to go to your events. That's what you want to kind of use your show to do. So it's really important to kind of use your graphics to help you do that.
And I will point out too that the use of those graphics can also lead to monetization. You can
Mm,
add your sponsor logos. You can take a race around the bases and superimpose a sponsor's logo on those bases. The more creative you get, not
hmm.
only with the graphics and the templates, but also with your sponsorship opportunities, with the things that you offer, it helps you justify the expense and the use of the equipment, but also further engaging the fans, the local communities, small businesses, you name it, you can bring them all into the ballparks, right?
Yeah, for sure. I was meeting with the team just this morning as they're preparing. They're going to as a baseball team going into their off season, and we were looking at all the opportunities that they can put into their graphics and seeing that space where they can put a sponsor, whether it's in the score bug, lower thirds, out of town scores,
Yeah,
or the replay animation. You can fans obviously drive a lot of your business, but you can't forget the sponsors also. And the advertising revenue is another huge piece that you got to remember that is also big that to incorporate in your stream as well.
absolutely. I know we spoke about some of the social media options available already. One of the things that the Savannah Bananas have done a great job of, and that other teams are doing, is producing content specifically for social media. There
Hmm.
is one thing to broadcast a game and to show the scores and to show the plays. You're giving the information to the fans. But that's completely different than engaging those fans and
Hmm.
creating that outreach that brings them into the ballpark, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, going back to my point earlier, you want to use your stream to show the fun of what's going on in your ballpark. So again, like what it's like to go to your facility. So you can take somebody who's watching your show and their butts in the couch to their butt in your seat at your facility. I think that your stream is really important to be able to do that, and a great tool, honestly, to be able to do that. So you want to show not just the action on the field, but a highlight of if you can see that girl in their upper right hand corner picture of that balloon popping on her head, right? That's a funny thing to see on social media. I know obviously the one of the big things that went around recently is that whole Coldplay clip. Unfortunately for them, that wasn't staged for those people. But one of the things we've been teaching our clients for many years is you can stage viral moments. You don't
Absolutely.
have to like wait for them to happen. Stage that funny, botched proposal or that botched kiss cam. Come up with those funny little skits that you can post to social media and get your brand out there. It's easy to stage those things. So it's all you can really use your social media, your stream to really get your brand out there, and really show what it's like to be at the facility of the event,
There
ballpark,
is
arena.
no better way to build FOMO, the fear of missing out, than through social
Mm,
media. So you can use that as a tactic to bring more and more people into these games. And you can take
yep.
those moments and really use them to benefit the sport itself.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is really about those moments and the memories, like that picture you see in the bottom right hand corner. I mean, it's the reason why we do, or really, why reason I do what I do. And I think a lot of people watching to this as well. Look at that kid. He's pointing at himself on the video board with the biggest smile in the world. I was at a stadium about a year ago, and right in front of me there was a kid that got himself up on the video board, and I was integral part of putting the video board there and the sound system and kind of all the components that made that happen. And right after that, he was like, "Mom, Dad, I got on the video board. That was the greatest thing ever." And he's going to have that memory for many years. And again, like we often find ourselves focusing a lot on the sport, but really the fans are what drive our business. So it's really important to make memories for them. And that's what teams like the Bananas are doing, and a lot of teams out there are doing. We just can't forget about that. And
and,
just seeing that picture is really what it's all about.
and quite honestly, that's what integrators like Visua are doing. You're using the technology to make that memorable experience for the kid that we
Mm-hmm.
saw in the last picture when he sees his face up on that LED display in the stadium. That's something he's going to remember, and that's for quite a long time. If you
Exactly.
have any questions about the products that we talked about and the technology that enables this fan engagement and the stuff that we're doing in the sports production world, you can contact Matt and his team at Visua at visua.us. Their phone number and more information is listed here. Matt, you work with minor league baseball teams and other sports teams all over the country, right?
Yep, minor league baseball, minor league hockey, soccer is taking over the world right now. I feel like there's like 10 new soccer stadiums being built every year.
Yep.
Any tier two, any entertainment facility, you name it, we're there for you. Give us a call. We'll help you out, talk about kind of your needs, help you through the solution, whether you're a new facility being built or just trying to do a small renovation. We can help you through it.
Awesome. Matt, as always, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for tuning in for this segment of Sports Stream.
Thank you, Jim.